Welcome to the realm of the inexplicable and the unknown, where the enchantment of Disneyland takes an unsettling twist. Behind the facade of the happiest place on Earth, there are stories that defy the magic and plunge visitors into the world of the mysterious and the chilling. In this collection of Disneyland scary stories, we invite you to explore the hidden shadows and forgotten corners of the beloved park. These are tales of unexplained encounters, eerie apparitions, and unsettling phenomena bordering the supernatural. Join us as we journey into the heart of Disneyland, where the boundaries of reality and imagination become tantalizingly uncertain. These stories are a haunting reminder that even in the most magical of places, the unexplained and the unsettling may be lurking just around the corner. My heart pounded with excitement as I stepped through the gates of Disneyland, the happiest place on Earth. It was a dream come true, a childhood wish fulfilled, and I couldn't wait to immerse myself in the magic. Little did I know that my visit would take a chilling turn into the realm of the strange and unexplained. As I strolled down Main Street, the vibrant setting enthralled me. The cheerful music and laughter of fellow visitors filled the air. But as I ventured deeper into the park, something felt off. It was as if a shadow had fallen over the enchanting facade of Disneyland. I decided to explore one of the lesser visited attractions, the Haunted Mansion. It was a spooky delight with eerie ghostly apparitions and eerie sounds. But as I exited the ride, a sensation of unease lingered. I felt like I was being watched, as if the spirits from the Haunted Mansion had followed me. As I continued my journey through the park, I encountered strange occurrences. The animatronic characters in It's a Small World seemed to move on their own, their plastic eyes locking onto mine with an unsettling intensity. I dismissed it as a technical glitch but couldn't shake the feeling that something more sinister was afoot. Night fell, and the park took on a surreal quality. The cheerful atmosphere had given way to an eerie hush, broken only by the faint echo of distant laughter. I decided to visit an empty Fantasyland, where the dimly lit rides and deserted pathways created an unsettling ambiance. As I wandered through the eerie stillness, I heard a faint melodic singing. It was the chorus of It's a Small World, but the voices were distorted and haunting. Goosebumps prickled my skin as I realized the ride was closed for the night, with no one in sight. Then, as I turned a corner, I saw a figure in the shadows, a cast member in a vintage Disneyland uniform, their face hidden by a wide-brimmed hat. They beckoned to me, their voice barely more than a whisper. I hesitated, my heart pounding, and then they disappeared into the darkness. I quickly made my way back to the main area of the park, shaken and bewildered. Disneyland had transformed from a place of enchantment to one of mystery. The laughter and music had returned, but I couldn't forget the haunting experiences of that night, the inexplicable encounters that blurred the line between fantasy and the supernatural. Disneyland, the quintessential symbol of magic and wonder, is not immune to the chilling tales that lurk in the shadows. Behind the facade of fairy tales and happiness, there exist stories that send shivers down the spines of even the most ardent Disney enthusiasts. One such tale revolves around an abandoned attraction, a forgotten ride tucked away in a remote corner of the park. The ride, once a beloved part of Disneyland's history, had been closed for decades due to a tragic accident. Some say that late at night, you can still hear the ghostly laughter of children and the faint screams of those who once enjoyed the ride, trapped in eternal torment. Then there's the legend of the haunted cast member, a young woman who worked in Fantasyland. She was known for her love of Disney and her radiant smile. But one fateful day, she vanished without a trace. Now visitors claim to see her ghostly figure wandering the park, still wearing her cast member uniform, forever searching for something or someone lost. Story 2. In another spine-tingling story, a family visiting Disneyland stumbled upon a hidden door in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. When they entered, they found themselves in a dark, twisted version of the ride, where skeletal pirates roamed freely and whispered ominous warnings. They managed to escape, but they were forever changed by the sinister encounter. Perhaps the most unsettling legend of all is the tale of the cursed Mickey Mouse ears. It is said that a pair of these iconic ears, worn by a disgruntled employee, carries a very dark presence. Those who put them on are said to be plagued by relentless bad luck and misfortune until they return the cursed ears to the park. While Disneyland continues to enchant millions of visitors, these stories serve as a chilling reminder that even the most magical places can have their dark side. Whether fact or fiction, these Disneyland horror stories are etched into the park's mystique, adding a layer of eerie intrigue to the world of make-believe. My family and I had embarked on a magical trip to Disneyland, eager to create unforgettable memories. Little did we know that our adventure would take an eerie turn, testing our courage and resilience. As we wandered through the park, delighting in the enchanting rides and the vibrant atmosphere, I noticed a man who seemed out of place. He was lurking nearby, casting furtive glances at my younger sister, who was innocently enjoying the day. Alarm bells rang in my mind, and I decided to keep a close eye on him. As the day wore on, my unease grew. The man continued to follow us, never straying far, his unsettling gaze fixed on my sister. My gut told me something was terribly wrong. I tried to alert nearby Disney employees, but their responses were disappointingly lax. They assured me that everything was fine and that they would keep an eye on the situation. Determined to protect my family, I led them to a more crowded area, hoping that the presence of others would deter the mysterious stranger. But he persisted, growing bolder with each passing moment. My sister had sensed the tension and clung to my side, her eyes wide with fear. As the sun began to set, I knew we had to take matters into our own hands. We discreetly slipped into a shop and informed the employees of our predicament. They immediately called for security and guided us to a secure, locked area. The minutes felt like hours as we waited for help. The stranger continued to loom outside, his menacing presence palpable. But finally, security arrived and apprehended the man. It turned out he had a history of questionable behavior and had been banned from the park before. The ordeal was over, but our sense of safety in the happiest place on earth had been shattered. The Disney employees, though ultimately helpful, had initially downplayed the situation. It was a chilling reminder that even in the most magical of places, we must remain vigilant and take action to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Our Disney adventure had taken an unexpected turn into a story of danger and survival, a tale we would never forget. Once upon a time, in the heart of Disneyland, there was a ride that had been long forgotten, a ride so unsettling and mysterious that it was concealed from public view. It was called The Haunting of Dreams. Hidden behind a facade of overgrown vines and twisted trees, The Haunting of Dreams had once been a beloved attraction. But after a series of unexplained incidents and strange accidents, it was closed to the public, its existence wiped from park maps and brochures. One moonless night, a curious group of friends decided to investigate the legends surrounding the ride. Armed with flashlights, they ventured deep into the heart of the park, guided only by whispers of its haunted past. As they approached the entrance, the air grew cold and heavy. The eerie silence was broken only by the distant echoes of laughter from other parts of the park. The friends hesitated but pressed on, their curiosity overcoming their fear. Inside the dilapidated ride, they found themselves in a surreal, dreamlike world. The walls were adorned with faded paintings that seemed to shift and change, their subjects morphing into grotesque and nightmarish figures. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness, and the faint scent of decay lingered. The ride's old animatronics, once endearing, had taken on a sinister life of their own. Their mechanical movements were erratic and disturbing, and their eyes seemed to follow the group's every move. It was as if the spirits of the ride's past visitors were trapped within the lifeless forms. As they navigated the disorienting maze of dimly lit corridors, the friends heard faint, ghostly whispers, the voices of those who had ridden the haunting of dreams before. The voices begged for release, for freedom from the eternal nightmare that had consumed them. In a room filled with mirrors, they encountered a terrifying reflection, a distorted, nightmarish version of themselves. Panic set in as the reflections reached out, trying to pull them into the distorted reality they had created. Desperate to escape, the friends stumbled upon an exit, their hearts pounding with fear. They emerged from the ride, their faces pale and their minds scarred by the horrors they had witnessed. The haunting of dreams remained hidden and forgotten, a chilling reminder that even the happiest places can hold secrets that should never be uncovered. The friends left Disneyland that night with a story they would never forget, a tale of a ride that had been lost to the darkness, where dreams turned into nightmares.